So in the last video we fixed the add button so it actually gets sourced to a function. And if you've tried it and you figured that it didn't work, well that's probably because we needed to add the routes for it. So what I want you to do is go to your routes and I want you to add several things. I want you to add resources cart, which is the first thing you want to add, and I want you to add post carts add, which routes to our add function in our carts controller. By doing that, we'll now be able to add a quantity to the item. So if I change this to 1 and I click add, and I go click inside chicken breast, then you can see that it actually becomes 1. So we now know that that is working. Now I'm not going to go through all of it, but you could try to do the same thing, add quantities when you are not logged in, or when you're logged in but you're entering different numbers. You could do all that. So if you enter more than the available quantity, then an error message will come up, not enough available quantity. But today will be a different video. We're going to work on the index function today. So I want you to put in a def index. And I just forgot to mention that if you are going to be testing this without signing in, then remember that your catalog controller would be looking to the GeoIP geolocation, and you need a proper IP address because it will find the location via IP address, and it will look for all results within 100 kilometers with what we have coded. And you also need the GeoIP app keys that you would use to find the IP address. But other than that, let's get on with today's lesson. It might be a long lesson though, we'll see. But first thing I want you to do is I want you to define an org products, and this will be an empty array first. And then we're going to do find the currency. So currency equals money new, and it's going to be something like this. That we're going to check if the delivery method is nil. So this is something new that I'll talk about later, but I'm just going to set this here. So if we're going to have delivery services, we want to see whether this item whether this item is deliverable. So we're going to do end here and session delivery method equals pickup. So we'll talk about that in a later date. Next thing we want to do is we want to search to see if this user already have existing items to check out in the database. So we're going to do the similar if current or person, and then we're going to do an else and an end. So the first thing we want to do is we want to check our session to see if our user carted anything while not signed in. So we're going to throw that to session to cart, and if they in fact did shop while they were not signed in, then we want to go create each item in the database for them for that session to cart. So we're going to create each item in the session cart in the database and attach it to the current user. So we want to do an end here as well. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to check if the item exists in the database within our loop. Because if it does exist, then we just want to update it. If it doesn't, then we'll create it. So if cart find by org person, find by org person ID is current org person ID, and if the org product ID is in there, then we'll just want to update it. So we'll do a cart update. And we're pretty much passing the same things that we did for our add function. So we'll just do that. So we're just gonna, we have our items from the cart in session to cart, and we're looping through each cart. So that is assigned to C, and we will just loop through C and go through each item and find their ID that way. So that's how that is working. Now in the else statement, what you want to do is you just want to create the item. So instead of cart update, what we're going to do is we're going to do cart create. So it's simple as that. So after that, we're going to go down to this statement right before the else, and then we're going to nil out cart to empty it out. And then we're just going to assign to products cart where org person ID is current org person ID. Now, there is probably a much better way to do this because you are creating an item and then you're looking for the item. So that's pretty inefficient in itself right there. So um, this kind of code is not something you'd use for a full-fledged product. Maybe an MVP, but as a full-fledged product, it's pretty inefficient. Other than that, you would in the else statement you would add products session cart or session cart. Because you are not signed in, all we can do is assign to products what's in the cart. So after this, what we want to do is we want to do another if else statement. So that the condition is if products is equal to nil. So the else statement is, or the if statement is actually going to be empty. In our else statement, we're going to do a little bit of, you could say, business logic to handle some edge cases. But what you want to do here is we want to loop through all the products that we have defined above in the previous if statement. We're going to turn it into an array and we're going to loop through it. And it's going to be assigned to variable product. Let's put an end here. And if current or person, then what we're going to do is, let's put in the else and the end too. If current or person product record is equal to product.org product. So the products here are from the cart. Products are from cart. Else we got cart data from a session. So what you do here is do product record, and that is equal to org product. So for each product, we're going to find by ID product. So the product ID is inside product 0. And if you're uncertain why it's product 0, then you could just go do a raise product inspect and refresh your page to see what product 0 or product actually holds. But we're just going to do our org product find by ID product 0, which we expect to be an ID. After that, we're going to do an if product record, and then we're going to do an end. So in this case, the products are from a session, so we're going to check if the item is in the database. And we're doing this part because a session is not in our database, it's on the client side. So what happens is if they've left it hanging for a long time, and if the item's really popular, then we need to check before they go and buy it that the item's actually really expired, because it's not synchronized with our database of items. So we need to check if the item's expired. We need to check if the quantity is there. So that's why we're looking for the expiry date and the quantity. So if the available quantity is greater than 0 and the time is not expired, then what you want to do is you want to do org products, and we're going to throw product, array of product record and product. and this means that we can show it. Else, what we're gonna do, and let's just put in the end, just for completeness sakes. And what you should do is, if the item is either expired or it's not available, then that really shouldn't be there. So what we want to do next is if current or person, and what this means is if the person is logged in, it was card database data, then we want to destroy that item, product ID. So delete the item from the card database attached to the user, because this item it's either expired or there's none of it left, so we have to get rid of it. So that's what we're doing. We're just drawing the row that it corresponds to in our card table if the user is logged in, or if they're not logged in, we're just going to destroy it from the card in their session. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this index function. We're going to take a look and see how it works in the next video, but it's already been a long video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you really liked the video. If you don't, then you could just close your browser, close your tab. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comment box. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again in the next video.